when you're ready, Ben.
Hey Emma, how are you?
Hi Ben, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. First things first, how are you finding your time in Perth?
My time has been great. I think I'm really gelling with the girls pretty well. Honestly, I clicked with them really fast, and in terms of the soccer, it's been amazing. It's been a bit of an adjustment, but I don't think anything I can't handle. So yeah, it's been great.
How did you come to sign for Macquarie, and how much of the desire to represent the Philippines national team and kind of be close to that setup play a part in coming to Australia?
Oh, it played a huge role. I mean, the reason I even came into the A League was through the national team. Mark Torcaso, the head coach of the Filipino national team, he was actually the one who um, put me in contact with Steven and with Perth Glory. And before putting me in contact, I knew of the A League, but I think I wasn't really too sure about coming over here. And so when I talked to Mark about the A League and I talked to Steven about Perth Glory, honestly, they made the transition so much easier, and they made me feel welcome and right at home right away. And so being at Perth, honestly, I've seen now firsthand by playing at HBF and also just by being at HBF watching the men's team play, I can see how big the fan base is, and so it makes me feel proud to be able to represent Perth Glory.
You also spent a bit of time in Spain with the famous Valencia. How did you find your time in La Liga, and what were some of the things you enjoyed about your time there? What were some of the challenges?
I enjoyed my time in Spain a lot. I think I basically call it my second home now at this point. I loved living there. I loved playing there. The style between here and in Spain is very different. I think over there it's just a lot more technical. We focus a lot about our play on the ball and things like that. And so I think the biggest challenge for me when I was in Spain was it was kind of my first taste of being a professional soccer player. And so I think it was kind of almost like a rude awakening in terms of how much time and dedication you have to really put into being a professional soccer player. And so I think I learned that the hard way, being over there in Spain and being there at such a young age. And so now being here in Australia and being in the A League, I think I come off more as a kind of a seasoned player, I guess you could say. And I know now what it takes to be a professional soccer player. And I think I've taken that from what I've learned in Spain here into the A League.
Yeah, obviously you mentioned the differences between Spain and Australia, and Spain obviously renowned for their possession-based football. Your passing has stood out across the first two games. Is that an area where you feel like you're able to really hone it playing in La Liga?
Yeah, for sure. I think my passing, honestly, I would probably say is like my best trait in terms of being a soccer player. And so I think coming over here, like I said, I've taken what I've learned in Spain and I've taken kind of like that vision that I was able to pick up while playing in the Spanish league. I've brought that over here to the Australian league, and I think it's helped tremendously with our team and with being able to play out from the back and just being able to create chances going to goal. I think it's played a pretty key role, and hopefully I'm rubbing off on my fellow teammates, and hopefully they're kind of learning a thing or two from me as I'm learning a lot from them as well.
Cool. That was all the questions I had, Gareth.
Emma, just on the Brisbane game, the shot that you had in the first half, as I remember, you must have thought that was in, surely.
Yeah, I think everybody thought that was going in. I surely thought it was going to hit top corner, but it just went off just a little bit. And so, honestly, even though I missed, it kind of fired me up a little bit because I thought it was going to go in. And I think that kind of butterfly that I got in my stomach kind of pushed me to just keep going and keep trying for shots on goal. And so, yeah, it would have been amazing if it went in, but I didn't stop there. I kept trying.
And just finally, what have Stephen's sort of key areas of focus been this week now running into the game against Sydney on Saturday?
I think the key area has just been we have really good moments of possession, and we've seen that very clearly in the last 2 games that we've played. And so I think the biggest area of focus right now is keeping that possession and just being patient and waiting for clear chances to go forward. And I think defensively, obviously, we want to try for a clean sheet, for no goals against, and that's kind of been our focus for the week. And I'm pretty confident. I'm confident going into the game. I think we're gonna be able to execute well, and I think we're learning a lot from the last 2 games, and we're improving, and we're ready for this weekend.
And just finally, you were away with the Philippines national team in a camp a couple of weeks ago, due to play Uzbekistan in a couple of games. Can you just tell us what happened in terms of those games and just the camp in general? How was that experience?
Well, the camp was great. Every time I go to camp, it's always just, I feel very grateful to be there. You know, I'm still slowly integrating myself with the team. I wasn't really able to play in any of the friendlies, but you know, it happens, things happen with management and stuff like that, and so you know, the ball was kind of dropped on that one, but regardless, I still had a great time over there being in training and being with the girls, and especially being able to be in the Philippines with the team. We get a lot of supporters, and so regardless of if I'm playing in friendlies or not, it's still great exposure for me, I think, and it's a great way for me to gain experience with playing with my national team, so yeah.